jump.
All right, well, here we are at the staging point here at Skull Hollow. So if you got a big group, you can air down lots of vehicles at the same time. Get ready. Right behind me is the entrance, and we're going up into these hills. This whole area is Skull Hollow over here. Um, One of my favorite places to come and test things out and any adjustments I need to make. And it's been a minute. I've had a few things broken, so it's my four-wheel drive actuator went out. I broke an axle a while back. That got fixed. Then the four-wheel drive went out. The actuator, which that'll all go away when I switch over to RCVs, which should be in the next month or so. But yeah, so I go up here. It's close to home. It's in Lone Pine, Oregon. Great place to just go hit some trails, and there's some little difficult cutoffs, and there's some great viewpoints and stuff like that. Today is not going to be one of those viewpoint type days, as we have had freezing fog the past couple days here in Central Oregon, and which is kind of crazy because 3 days ago, roughly, it was probably pushing up in high 50s, almost 60, which is insane for January. We haven't had any snow this year, a couple flakes here and there, a little bit south of Bend. But here in Redmond, Terrebonne area, we used to get a ton of snow, and now we got nothing. And you got to travel pretty far to go find snow these days, which is fine because next weekend, that's the goal, is to go find a bunch of snow and get higher up in the mountains. Take the Expedition 22 crew up, and if you're not following us already, hop on, follow Expedition 22, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all the goods. We even got a website, expedition22.com, spelled with an X, no E. You can hop on our website and find out more about us and what we're all about, which is helping veterans, raising awareness to the veteran suicide rate of 22 a day, which is 22 a day is 22 too many. So if you know a veteran, if you are a veteran, if you're a family member of a veteran, if you just love to support veterans and you like to get out and be in nature and go hiking and off-roading and overlanding and hunting and fishing and all the outdoor activities, we do it all. We love it. And it doesn't matter where you live. You can be a part of the Expedition 22 family and join us on adventures, and who knows what state we'll come to next. I would like to point out my beautiful, amazing co-pilot today, which is Miss Nova here. She is checking out for everything's great and safe for us to go, and making sure there's no crazy animals. As you can see, her nose is going crazy, but she's definitely the best dog I've ever had, and she's a total princess. So waiting on that last tire to air down. Figure I'd give you a quick tour of the cab here. This isn't by any means sponsored by Onyx Off-Road, but I do use Onyx Off-Road. I can use it on my actual stereo from my phone, or like this trip is just a solo trip, just me going out, taking the dog out, having fun. So I'm just doing a little solo trip. So most of this is being filmed off my phone. So I kind of need that in my hand. But I got all my mounts are all bullet point mounts, which are amazing. And then I use a quad lock arm for my phone, just quick, easy release. Again, not sponsored by anybody, which is totally fine. I use what makes sense, and I use what I enjoy, and what's functional and works for me. You'll never hear me say you have to have this or have to have that, because, well, the only thing you have to have is whatever makes your life easier and makes you have fun doing it. So, but yeah, it's, for me, it's a great mounting system. I got a handheld radio mounting system. Later, I'm going to do the Molly panel up top and put my put a mounted radio in here, just so that way I have it all the time, and then I can use the. All right, it's time for us to hit the trail. So we're all aired down and have that nice smooth ride. I will say that aside from just being aired down, I have the King coilovers as my suspension when lift was done. And if you're looking for, it's on the higher end, high dollar, all that stuff. I know that there'll be a lot of comments about that. But it is probably the best, smoothest riding suspension I've ever had the joys of riding on. And the flexibility and just crawling, it feels like they're indestructible. Now, I'm pretty good at braking stuff, so there's a good chance that I could break something, but hopefully that doesn't happen, and I haven't had any issues. I've had a ton of compliments on it. I've just really loved it and enjoyed it, and it hasn't failed me yet. So I keep them maintained. They're fully adjustable for softer or harder, whatever you desire. But anyways, back to the trail. Just entered Skull Hollow. I'm gonna flip the camera around so that way y'all can see how the entrance of the trail is, because who wants to look at this when you could look at where I'm going instead, right? Okay, so you may see we just passed a campsite. There's a big, large campsite off to the south of the trail. That's kind of like, an actual campground sort of thing. However, there's a lot of dispersed camping up here as well. You'll see a little pull-off spots like this one right here on the right, that you could pop in there and camp if you wanted to. Looks like we got somebody up here that either parked or camped. It's nice. People go and camp around here all year long. But yeah, it's just a enjoyable, fun little trail. We'll get into some more technical stuff up here later. I shouldn't say technical. I should say, just some enjoyable, fun little spots. It looks like those guys are just packing up camp. And some places like this spot over here on the left has more of a defined fire ring and things like that. There's some really cool history about Skull Hollow with the Native Americans in this area and how they defended this area, which is another reason why I love coming up here. This rock up here is pretty cool. It's all blacked out on one side because it's kind of makes like this natural fire pit. As we come up here, I'll get a better view of that. But when you're exploring areas, I always recommend researching that area or a new place that you're gonna go out. You might find some cool history. Living in Oregon is great because you get all sorts of great history from the Oregon Trail and the settlers and Native American culture and all of that. So this is a pretty cool camp area. I've camped here before. It's just kind of back in here on the right, and then you got yourself a pretty natural fire pit area. Let's see if we can get a little bit closer look of that. So yeah, and then the heat when you run in your fire, it's pretty cool because the heat rolls up over that rock and just kind of surrounds your whole little camp area here. So pretty neat stuff. That's always a fun one there. And we'll continue on up the trail. So with the history of this area, as you see, I'm crawling up this canyon. That rock face back there was a good sign, as you're like entering this little valley here, and there's just steep, tall hills on both sides. And the Native Americans used that as a choke point because they were getting pushed out of their homes. And so to defend their area, they led the soldiers and people to come through this area, and it became a very big battle through here. Well, it looks like somebody didn't make the trail. That's too bad. This is kind of a new little area. I haven't been up here yet. Let's go see what it looks like up here. Some of these little cutoffs you'll find they'll seem great at first, and then you end up finding out that they're a turnaround. But looks like this one keeps going. Hard to tell the steepness of this, but we're at about my pitch is about 17-18 degrees, just kind of cruising up this. Looks like we might need to turn around up here because there might be a gate. About to find out. So as I'm out here enjoying life, I thought I'd just take a moment to say, like, why do I do this? Right? Why am I out here just driving around, wasting gas, looking to see what trail may go where? Because it's peaceful to me. This is my happy place. I struggled with PTSD, suicide attempts, things that addiction, things that were scary at the time when it happened years ago, and coming up into the woods and coming up going back to my roots, what I grew up doing, I found peace in it, whether it's fishing, camping, just being out in nature and enjoying life. It really gave me a different perspective on life and a way to enjoy things with my kids, and just gave me a new sense of purpose, which I was craving and needing, sense of adventure. And it's something that's near and dear to me, and I want to share with everybody else. So I started Expedition 22, which is a nonprofit organization to help raise awareness, as I said before, to veteran suicide and PTSD, and really PTSD of any kind. It doesn't have to be military related. You know, I notice that a lot of people get that confused. It could be trauma. It's trauma. It's trauma from maybe your time in the service, maybe it's trauma from relationships, maybe it's trauma from a car accident, there's so many different forms of trauma that why specify it to just one type, which, me being a veteran, I get that a lot. They're like, oh, okay, so it's veterans only. Well, no, it's not. It's for all types of people in all ages. And, this is a great way to just clear your head and to get out there and enjoy life and connect with something bigger than yourself. And so I really enjoy it. And I have a lot of friends that enjoy it and a lot of friends that support Expedition 22. And it doesn't have to be just Expedition 22. And that's my company. And yes, I'm promoting it in that manner. But you want to come out and enjoy some time and with some great people, some like-minded people, some people that have been through the same stuff as you. To me, there's no better therapy than this. Just getting out in nature, and I'm doing this today solo just because I was getting a little cabin fever. It's a 4-day weekend, and for me, and I just want to get out, and I needed to kind of get out of the house, get out of my head a little bit. So it's serving its purpose for me, and I got to share this with you guys. But we try to. What we try to do with Expedition 22 is create expeditions and adventures and things like that regularly, instead of the once a year one thing, only so many people can go. That's not what we're about. We're about as many people that want to come out, do trail rides, camp out every month, a couple times a month. Bigger trips are once a month. We got some big ones coming up this year. We're going to go to Moab this year. We're going to do a lot of exploring throughout Oregon, Washington, Pacific Northwest stuff. I don't think that we're going to hit the Rubicon Trail this year. It just kind of depends on if anybody wants to. But some big places, big things like Moab, those are going to be some big trips. Exploring. We're going to create. A good friend of mine, Chris, and I have talked a lot about this, and we're going to create our own Oregon BDR. And in case you're unfamiliar with the Oregon BDR, it's a Oregon Backcountry Discovery Route that was created, that goes from Hood River down into the Alvord Desert, kind of crosses through Oregon, goes from, in a sense, northwest to southeast, or I guess technically it starts in the southeast to northwest. We're going to look at creating a new one that is majority off-road and goes from southwest Oregon to northeast Oregon, so it'll go the opposite way. And it'll kind of X in the middle, and it just so happens that X will be Central Oregon, and that's where it'll cross paths. So keep an eye out for any Expedition 22 sign. See, there's areas like this that are nice little play areas. You'll see a lot of people use this as like a shooting range area. We'll go over here and give you kind of a little bit better view, but yeah, you can come over here. If you do shoot out here, maybe pick up your brass. That'd be cool. Unfortunately, there's a lot of spaces to clean up, which in that manner, something I like to do is do some trail cleanups. So there's a big giant hill right there in front of us that goes up in the fog there, and you can also kind of see a little bit of a trail that goes up that way too. So you can drive up there, hang your targets, and you got a nice little platform up here to shoot from. However, pick up your trash. I mean, it's hard to tell in the video, but there's a lot all over the place. So please pick up your trash. We're gonna do some Expedition 22 trail cleanups just to get everybody together and also do something good for our areas and our trails. So keep a lookout for that. If you're interested in the same kind of stuff, then please let us know, and we'd love to have your help. All right, we're airing up, and it's a short trail, but I just need to get out for a few. I'm going to show you kind of my setup for now on how my airing up goes. Works great for me, so I'm going to try my best to do this one-handed and kind of see how I do things. So in this pack out, I went with the Morphlate hoses so I can air up all four at the same time. I love how they have hoses. You input your vehicle and what you got, and then you have hoses that are cut to length for for your vehicle. And then I'm running an ARB dual air compressor that my awesome big brother installed in here for me. So, you know, I got my switch and my connection, and you'll see how that connects here in just a second. But what I love about these, again, any hoses works for you. I just prefer these Morphlate ones, and I can just, oh, that was a horrible toss. I can just toss them out here along the side. This is not so easy one-handed. Toss them out along the side, lay them out, get them ready for airing up, makes things a lot quicker. There's a ton of different hose brands, so you know, I'd be curious as to what people use and what they like best to use when they're airing up. You know, being able to air up and air down. Oh, look at that toss was way better. The quick connections, you know, I got my Milwaukee Packouts. This will eventually go to probably a decked system, and I think I'm gonna swap out this empty space here for another connection or another storage space. So kind of see if I can lean this up so you can see better how this goes together. So always make sure, you know, your hoses are closed. Then boom, I got my gauge connected right there. And then all I gotta do, come over to each tire. And, you know, I know everybody likes to, there's a lot of people that like to air their tires up to different pressures for the front and different for the back. You know, I'm just kind of fill them all up, and I could always adjust them later, let a little bit of air out once they heat up and stuff. But, you know, here I am with holding a phone, taking a video for y'all, and I'm airing up my tires one-handed. You know, I mean, that's pretty. Normally I'm doing this with two hands, but this makes it pretty nice. They come with these nice little rubber caps to keep it all nice and clean, and I've had these for probably about 9 months, roughly, maybe 6. They just quick connect on there, come around, do the other side. And just a little piece of advice, I would say take your caps and then throw them in your pocket, because I have lost many caps because I'll put them down on the wheel and then something will distract me or whatever, and I will take off, and I'll get home and later on I'll walk around or whatever while I'm cleaning my Jeep, and I'll leave them in the wheel, and then they'll fling out somewhere, and then they're, you know, so if you find any red caps like that, especially with a flag on it, and all around Oregon, they're probably mine. So you're welcome. So turn on this, which is also getting switched out, open it up, and then boom. Again, not sponsored by Morphlate or ARB or any sponsor for that matter, but you know, it like I said earlier, I use what works, and I use what works good for me. And this probably only takes about, I don't know, 10 to 12 minutes maybe, if that. I'm at 10 pounds, I'll probably go up to 35. Try not to get too close because it's loud, but on the tailgate I have mounted my pack out for all my air up and air down tools and hoses and whatnot. Obviously you guys saw Nova's bed earlier, and then that pack out on top is all my recovery gear, and then just some extra tools and parts and little things that I may need on the trail. I'm running right now these Wild Peak R-Trains, or All-Terrains by Falcon with KMC True Beadlocks. I have the King suspension, coilovers, adjustable front and rear with Evo long arm kit, all KC lights all the way through, as well as you can't see them, but they're tucked up under there pretty good for my my rock lights up under there, so they're well protected. Casey does a great job on that. Probably switch out the winch at some point. Smittybilt hasn't been too bad for me. It's got me out of a jam, which was great. This little plug here I get a lot of questions about out and about. This is what my compressor used to be in a Milwaukee pack out, and I would have to pack that thing out here, set it on the ground, throw my hoses out, plug this in. But now I was going to get rid of this, but this is connected to the battery, so instead I could just plug in to that, and the other end is jumper cables, so I could just jump start another vehicle if I want and just plug it in there. I don't even have to pop my hood. So that makes it nice. Metal cloak brackets. These steps are going away. I'm not a fan of steps in general, so those will go to more traditional rock sliders. If I know I'm going to be on some rocks, I'll put the stock ones back on, like the stock rock sliders. Yeah, that's pretty much it, aside from, steering stabilizers, ARB diff covers. You guys comment and let me know. Fox is probably gonna it's done its job, but it'll probably get swapped out for PCS. And yeah, this was the axle that I broke, that E-joint right there, a while back, and why I'm switching to RCVs. So anyways, let me know if you see something that you have questions about, or you want to know, where to find it, whatever. Again, not sponsored by anything, not promoting any company specific, just what works for me and what I have. Any questions of how I like it before you buy it, I'll give you honest reviews on it and tell you what I think and why.